Hello, everyone.
Hello,
Oh,
everybody.
oh,
Welcome into episode 41
Oh my!
of the
You
Fused
you did
Relativities.
you did make it back. He was concerned.
a little bit.
Yeah, and then you ruined my intro. Come on, John.
Stepped all over it. You guys off to a flying start for episode 41.
Well, welcome into episode 41 of the Fused Relativity podcast. I made it back. Let's just say that. So, John, other than ruining my intro, how are you doing tonight?
It's nice to not have my weekend screwed up by work or call. So work.
Nice.
Nothing wrong with that. Host with no name, how are you doing?
I'm
AKA
doing good.
Kirk.
Again, well, in reference to, of course, a horse with no name. You've been on the desert with a horse with no name, so tonight you're flying through space with a horse with no name. So similar, but I'm doing good. Actually, I went to a party. Have you guys ever heard of I went to a party and it was around the holidays, and they go, basically, we make cookies and we drink beer. That's the whole premise of the party. We have ingredients and you can bring recipes, but we're going to make cookies and then play drinking games. Do you guys, is this registering at all?
I have never heard of anything like that.
Never
Supposedly
done that before.
it came from Maine or something. It's a back east thing, It's just where it's real cold and there's nothing else to do, it sounds like, and they just brought it out. But they made some killer Oreo mint kind of things that were just ridiculous. And it was fun, like drinking games with 40-year-olds. Everybody was like, let's not go crazy. Everyone's like, yeah. It's, I mean, we're not idiots here. Like,
Let's keep it on a medium, like a solid medium level, guys.
exactly. Like we got to work tomorrow, people. Let's not be morons. We're not, 20-year-old college kids. It was like that kind of drinking. So it was great. It was perfect. Okay, and just one more thing just in the intro, I saw a product. You guys are both parents. Maybe you can help me out with this, but I just don't understand who this for. I saw it was non-drowsy children's cold medication. And it seems like, as a parent, if you have a chance to drug your kid, you take it. First of all. And then B, hear me out. Okay, so here's the thing. Our child is sick, so I'm going to give him liquid, but let's not slow him down. The thing that just runs all over and just touches everything and just has energy. Let's not try to slow that down and it's like it's a ball of germs running around your house and you're going to like give it an energy drink? No, you give it the drowsy cold medic. They got to rest anyway. I'm like, come on. You're not giving them shots of whiskey because they have a cold. You're giving them cold medication, but non-drowsy makes no sense to me.
Gonna say,
My guess is it has something to do with whatever the drowsy component is.
yeah,
Maybe not wanting to give that to children, whatever makes them drowsy. So,
or Benadryl, diphenhydramine.
Right, but making kids drowsy isn't bad. No?
I'm not going to disagree with you.
We're parents, Kirk. Quit trying to get us in trouble.
Yeah.
No, come on. You know what? If you could just admit sometimes, I don't know. Sometimes my kids run around. It's a pain in the ass. I don't know.
See, but if they sleep too much during the day, then they just stay up all night. Chris should know this.
Yep.
But I don't know if they're sick anyway. All right, anyway.
Yes, Kirk. We won't agree with you on that one. But so maybe everyone has seen the title of this episode is called Communism in Space, a little red for the red planet. I still don't know. So, John, take it away.
My thought process is we've talked about there being colonies on Mars. The question I was thinking of was what type of overarching government would be in place? Because I personally don't think capitalism would ever work on Mars or the moon or anything like that. Moon, maybe, because it's close enough, but Mars, absolutely not.
Well, I think Martian law, we've already discussed this.
Well, I mean,
is that a thing? That's an actual thing?
No.
Okay.
It's wordplay on martial law, but it's Martian law.
All right.
Well, and that's just my thing. Like, if you have the whole point of like the end goal of capitalism is one person holds all, or company holds all the money. Like, obviously, that's the super like aggressive. This is what capitalism stands for. But that would never work on a place like Mars because, like we've said before, they'll just end up outside an airlock. So
I think, John, I see where you're going now as far as like what would the economic and socio platform be? You know, what would the tier system be? But I think in a situation where you're colonizing Mars, especially in the beginning, my first guess would be that it's going to be more of a tribal, as far as
which
everyone has their task.
And this is why I labeled it communism, because, you know, propaganda strong. A lot of people when I was researching communism in general a few weeks ago, a lot of it was like indigenous Americans. The closest that you could potentially call them is like communistic societies, because everyone worked, everyone shared everything, you know.
Native American tribes. That's what
Yes.
we're talking about?
Yes. And it was, you know, everyone worked, everyone benefited from the work, and it was all done, you know, cooperatively. Now, obviously, communism that didn't exist back then because it's a newer term. And that's kind of why I picked it, because it's more of the aggressive, because socialism also falls into that, but that's where it gets all muddy, and there's theories and things like that. It's just, I don't see capitalism ever working.
I see a currency of pink bellies and noogies is really going to be that's going to be the initial thing, because nobody can hoard it, and it's kind of, you know, it's easy to spread and pass around.
So the interesting part here, John, is, and I'm kind of bummed that I said interesting because I was against this topic, but I think that in my brain, and that was just, of course, my opinion, but it feels to me like government in itself may eventually move, but initially it wouldn't be a government per se. I feel like everyone would have to be all in or nothing.
Well,
you
and
know, because you're gonna have to pull your own weight. You're gonna have to share everything because there's only a limited amount of resources up there.
Well, and that's kind of my point, is the problem we have right now is that Musk is deciding to do this. You know, he wants to set this up as like his own personal thing. I just don't see that going well for him. You know, it's like he's the richest person on Earth. He's either going to stay on Earth and try and control it from here, which is a good possibility with, you know, the fact that he will potentially control the cargo you know, as it were, with the starships. But
you got to use his rockets to get he's got a monopoly on it.
He'll have the overarching control of what goes to the planet, which personally,
well, but see,
that's where it's like it's muddy.
It is muddy because theoretically, the second we start colonizing Mars, every country is going to have their own say, and the United States, for example, isn't, you know, they're not going to let Elon control the ships that are going in and out. If, you know, there's going to be some regulation as to how the ships are sent. There has to be a master plan, because that would breed too much power if you could be the guy who's like, do what I say or I'm going to withhold your cargo ship.
So you're saying the countries are going to band together to regulate so that doesn't happen? Like, we control the space, Musk. You can't do it. You got to run it by us first.
Well, because I'm thinking this, you know, if the first thing that's going to happen is we're going to establish a colony, you know, and I'm just saying this because Elon's the first one who's probably going to get there. Let's say he establishes a pseudo colony on Mars. China's probably going to be right behind him, and they're going to do it on the other side.
Well,
just like they hack our software, they just take it. It seems like all right, we can do that too.
Well,
But
there's
I
a
don't-
rover. There's a rover on Mars right now that's doing the exact same thing our rover is doing, just on the opposite side of the planet. So I feel like you would essentially have the same thing on a different side of the planet.
See, I would agree with you, except the fact that everyone is lagging behind Musk right now and SpaceX.
Well, and that's fine, but eventually they're going to catch up.
No, I agree. It's just...
So what do you think? I mean, I guess my next question would be like, what do you think is the optimal situation for this?
Well, like I said, it would have to be a communal effort. And everyone would be involved in everything. We've talked about this before where, people not helping or trying to be lazy and just live over there without doing work. I don't see that as being a thing. Like, that's why I don't see capitalism working, because the second someone starts pissing everyone off, their ass gets chucked out an airlock. And there's nothing the U.S. is going to do if Elon Musk just one day stops sending messages back to Earth. They can be like, yeah, we didn't know where it happened to him. We'll try and find him.
Once again, you guys in your murderous rage. You have a lot of... You like to murder.
Theoretically.
Just
hypothetically.
But, I mean, this isn't like some foreign thing in human history. It's happened all the time. Like the French Revolution. It's...
I'm sure that, like on a boat ride over to the new lands, I'm sure that if there was some jackass who was ruining everything and threatening people's lives, I'm sure he might have gone heaved overboard. I'm sure that situation happened. But it seems like when you're on this boat, you just kind of lock it down and focus. Like there's a purpose, there's a reason, there's a goal, there's something I'm trying to get to, so I can try to lock it down for 3 months or however long it took, right?
I mean, we have terms for that. It's like mutiny. Because I'm assuming that's what you're describing as, like, hey, the captain's being a dick, let's throw him overboard.
Or no, or some random guy just being a jackass. Yeah. He's not pulling his weight, and he's peeing in our fresh water.
Well, and that's just it. It's like, how many people, and that's a good question, because I'm assuming we don't know, because that would have probably been just swept under the rug of, oh yeah, we left with 60, only 55 showed up, the rest just kind of died and we threw them overboard.
Yeah, there wasn't a ticket taker. All right, wait a second. You guys are 3 short. What happened?
Yeah,
all right, it's just throw overboard. No.
Well, and especially with like when we talk about, when they came over to America, like they weren't coming back completely because the whole point was colonization. Like they wanted to start settlements. So the boats that were coming back weren't going to be full. So how would they know if half of them got thrown overboard because they were all being dicks? Like that's just something we don't know.
And the other thing boils down to is, like, what happens if they find some sort of rare resource on Mars that we could use here on Earth? Now there's so many different variables that you would have to look at. I think the correct, I could be.
Well, no, but that's the plot of Avatar.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh,
that was like with the Smurfs, right? They were like
yes,
the taller Smurfs.
The tall Smurfs, yes.
Yes. I've never actually watched that movie, but
me neither. It seemed too long. It was too. I don't know. I don't have the. It was like
visually
3 hours, right?
Great. It's like
That's like you would have to see it in the theater. Like that's the whole point, just for the grand big screen and the sound effect. But like you're looking on a tablet. Like this sucks. I imagine.
Like it was okay, and visually great movie. Plot was plot.
Well, but it wasn't. It was way too long, right? All right.
I was gonna say
he has notes. All right, let's move on then.
We got stuck on Avatar there for a second, but there's just so many variables that you would have to look at that would essentially dictate, not in a communist way, but
but you see what I'm saying? It would be something akin to like a socialist, communist everyone would be in charge of everything.
I think attaching those types of labels would be almost a detriment because
no, I agree.
It would be more of, I think, your communal aspect would be it would have to be an agreed.
We're on Team Earth.
We're on Team Mars. Like, we are Team Mars. We have to survive. We're going to do everything we need to survive. Everybody's got a job, and that's just what it is.
I guess that, you know what, that seems optimistic thinking. That would be nice if that happens. Hopefully it goes that way.
One would assume that would be the way it would go, because otherwise, like I said, like if we took, any sort of like, well, I mean, realistically, the only type right now that's in play is capitalism. I just don't foresee it working, because if someone started taking control, it airlock.
Right.
I feel
it's like somebody sets up a stock market and then they inflate it and then it goes bust and then everyone's like, "What?" Yeah, they would be upset.
Well,
I feel like you're trying to turn this into crapping on capitalism. Next topic.
Just a little bit.
Yeah.
A title that has communism in it? Good guess. Good guess. Come on. You didn't see that coming? It didn't blindside you with it.
I know, I wasn't trying to hide it. Well,
I knew you would be against. Well, yeah, okay.
This kind of ties into our. I need to turn some of this stuff off here. Let me go over to this, because this is.
And who's better at turning things off?
Nope, that's the ending.
Here?
Oh, okay.
All right.
I kind of told Chris about this, but I had to bring pictures. Elon Musk is kind of turning into Zorg.
He's doing that hair. What's with the hair, man?
And for any of you that don't know, hopefully everyone who is viewing does know who that is. That's from The Fifth Element. He was the bad guy.
Yeah.
Great movie.
Like we have Dr. Evil, and now we have Zorg.
Yes. I'm gonna disagree on the great. Like, I hated that movie. Chris Tucker I couldn't get over Chris Tucker being annoying. It just ruined the whole movie for me. Hated it.
Great
thumbs
movie.
down.
Well, to each their own, Kirk. I thought it was excellent.
Yes, well, it is. Once again, agree to disagree. Like, I shower, you do. Okay, no, I'm kidding.
I feel like if Elon Musk starts growing a soul patch, then we'll know.
Well, I mean, he's talks about currently retiring from. Oh, it could also be a joke because it's Elon and he's.
What's he gonna do? Just spend more time with his money?
No. This was the tweet. Thinking of quitting my jobs and becoming an influencer full time.
Yes, that's a joke. Yes.
Yes.
You didn't. God damn it! Really? I don't.
But I mean, this kind of falls back into what we were talking about last week, like when he was bitching about how SpaceX might go bankrupt. It's like, dude, no. You can sell 1% of your 1% of your stocks and float the business for years. Like, that
sounds like Elon is just trolling you specifically.
Well, I
if anything ever that crowd. Come on, your algorithm is just showing you things that Elon says that just rally up.
See, we kind of touched on this earlier, and I thought it was a novel concept if he was to step away and just let the engineers do what they want to do without his oversight specifically. Might be a good move for him.
Well, and that's just it. And that's kind of what I wanted to bring up too. Like, SpaceX at this point is too valuable of a company. It would be bought out. And unfortunately, it would likely be bought out by Bezos.
Well, and I'm sure he has a lot of talented people underneath him. So if he leaves, I'm sure there's several generals in his army that
he's not even
have ideas.
Gwyneth Shotwell, I think, is in charge of SpaceX. Right, Chris?
Got me. I don't know.
She's... Hold on.
Great analysis. Thanks.
Yes.
Damned if I know. Back to you. Okay.
Or not Gwyneth, Gwen Shotwell, sorry.
How dare you?
She's the president and chief operating officer of SpaceX.
Right.
So she's kind of run SpaceX. Elon Musk is kind of like the very loud poster boy.
He's like more of the figurehead, like a spokesperson, that kind of like, yeah. He's the guy you associate with.
He's a self-proclaimed engineer who's helped out.
Oh, he's got great ideas, don't get me wrong, but you know, there's a certain method to his madness that he could probably tone down a little bit, and if he just stepped away for a second, it might be okay. Just the way that he tries to push all the people to go faster, sometimes that's not good.
Well, and I think that plays into the whole bankruptcy thing, because it's like he hasn't even launched the full stack yet. They have no idea. Like, yeah, sure, they put all their eggs in this basket for Starship, but if one fails, this should have been a plan from the beginning. Like, hey, you know, if the first one fails, I think the biggest thing was just the fact that the Raptors weren't being made fast enough.
Well, yeah, that was the big thing that he was complaining about, but I feel like this is all just one setup for a really big movie. Like Mike Myers and Bruce Willis, they're going to team up in a big ass movie, and they're going to take down Elon and Jeff Bezos.
It's not I don't know. I was as just a goof making like another Die Hard sequel. Like, oh, come on, Bruce. Enough of the what do you do? 5? I think he's up to 5.
Best Christmas movie ever. Actually, that's a lie.
Home Alone, but
Christmas Story.
Christmas Vacation. Come on. Obviously, or Scrooged. All right. Anyway,
Scrooge was pretty good. I'll give you that one. Bill Murray.
I saw actually the house, the outside house of the Home Alone house. I popped up in a story where it's on like Airbnb, so people stay there all the time. And I guess they have like they set it up where there's like little booby traps and they make it like the movie.
I'm gonna say that house was like massive in the movie as well. There's like 17 people living in it, right?
Oh, it's so huge. So yeah, movies and sitcom houses, you look at them like, how many people? That's a giant house. And they're like supposed to be like blue collar people. I'm like, that seems expensive. That's a lot of space.
I bet that house would be like, if one more person screams Kevin, I'm gonna burn myself to the ground.
Well,
I will do it.
If you're staying there, that's why you're doing that. You're doing nothing but that. I don't know. There's like you're bringing a tarantula and you're burning people, and it's a lot of. Looking, that movie they were horrific. They really got those guys got abused.
The Nail in the Foot. That was the one I just couldn't watch that.
Yeah, that would hurt. So, the pain.
Yeah,
yeah. I do remember that one. So anyway, this is Fuzed Relativity, where we reminisce about Home Alone. But in case you're tuning,
on a weekly basis, that's what we do. We reminisce about Home Alone.
Mm-hmm. It'll happen, everybody. So just mark it. It's it's like a running gag in the show. All right.
Hey, somehow in this episode, we've managed to talk about Fifth Element, Avatar, Home Alone, and Austin Powers. So that's pretty good.
Communism on Mars.
And Die Hard. So
yeah.
we've gotten a lot of movies in one episode.
Just a wide spectrum there.
Well, since we're talking about space, you guys saw this week that they have picked the new candidates for the next moon mission, the Artemis mission.
Pauly Shore was an odd choice. I did not. Totally blindsided.
Yep, didn't see that one coming.
God, that was my. I'm trying to remember the quote now. That was around for my first kid. I'm talking about Biodome.
Oh,
because that would be the most applicable to, setting up a lunar colony.
That's true. Everything they're doing is based off of Biodome. Everything. It's to a T. It's frightening. It's probably not going to succeed.
I think they cleaned it up in the movie. I think they had it running pretty good.
So is Biodome then the bar? So that we'll get there and then we'll make improvements.
Yeah.
First improvement, no Pauly Shore. That's wrong. Wasn't one of the Baldwin brothers too? That was the other guy.
Yeah. So they picked the new group of astronauts that are going to go, candidates that are going to go up on the Artemis missions. And from what I can tell, they are all very experienced and flown in space multiple times. Maybe not all of them multiple, but some of them have been astronauts for quite a while.
So no rookies.
There may be like one or two rookies in there. I didn't look at the full list, but it seems like they're relying on experience for this mission, which is good. I mean, you want experienced people going up there. But I am super excited for that mission. I just think for some reason I think the moon is just fascinating. And I can't wait to see like high-res pictures.
Yeah, that will be something.
Because like there's a Chinese rover on Mars, on the moon right now, and it found some sort of cabin house picture. Have you seen that?
Well, it's likely just a boulder, but yeah.
Yeah, well, the hook to all the stories is the Chinese rover spots a cabin looking picture on the moon, and oh yay, Zurg is gone. He was staring at me.
So, are you more excited for pictures of the actual moon or pictures from the moon back at Earth? Like, what are you more interested in?
Well, I don't know. The moon's just appealing to me. I don't know. There's nothing up there, but the fact that we've already been there once and now we're going to go back, and they're I'm going to be bummed when it's not made of cheese, but
right. But is it because it's white? Is it white and pale? It reminds you of John. So there's some familiar. It feels like family. That's what it is.
No one. Okay, you might have solved it, Kirk. That might be it.
I didn't. Yeah, not to put you guys on the couch or anything, but I think I figured it out.
No, so like thinking about Mars, we're getting fairly high resolution images from the Perseverance rover up there, and it feels to me like that's a 20-minute venture. It's 20 minutes for anything to even get to Earth from Mars, radio-wise. Well,
so data. Wow, that's amazing.
Yes.
Yeah. So any time they communicate with the rover, it's 20 minutes before it gets from Mars to Earth.
And then it has to respond, and then it takes 20 minutes back. So 40 minutes a round trip to say, "Hey."
Pretty much. Yep.
How's it going, rover? Pretthe good. TGIF. I know.
Like, not to mention that the videos and all the information that gets sent takes a long time to upload. So, being that the moon is only 3 days away compared to 6 months away, we're going to get those images fast and furious in comparison. And I don't know how much they'll release of it. I just think it's going to be really cool to see what kind of stuff they send back. And it won't be robots. It'll be actual human beings with cameras, and you'll get a different view of things instead of
they can frame it or try to Yeah, that'll be cool. And hopefully, I can't imagine, like, once again, like, for the good of humanity, I can't imagine someone like taking the pictures and like hoarding them and like, no, this is just for science. You're like, no, that would be awesome to see. Like, that's impressive. That's beauty.
Anything NASA related is, since it's a government agency, is public domain, public owned. We fund it.
So there should be a website where we could find it. Like, NASA.org or gov.
Yeah,
it's
every
NASA.gov,
yeah, every single picture NASA has ever taken is free to use. You can do whatever the hell you want with it. It's an awesome thing about
NASA.
But I see what Kirk is saying though. Like, if they found aliens on the moon, they're not showing us. You know what I mean? So it's still filtered. I guarantee there's classified shit out there that we have no idea about. But
it
come on,
seems like
the
government always holds something back. Well, they can't have that's not for the children. We'll take care of it. It does seem like there's a bit of that.
I would guarantee that one picture we'll get is of the American flag that's been on the moon for 40 years, 50 years, however long it's been. And
well, right. There's not many more landmarks, right? I mean, there's not like
no.
There's a Cinnabon. No. But I don't really take a picture of a Cinnabon. That's if you do that, you have a weight problem, I'm guessing.
But they're gonna try and say like, oh look, here's the American flag that Neil Armstrong planted on the moon. And then all the conspiracy theorists will be like, oh, you guys planted that there. That wasn't there.
It would be funny if we got there and then it had graffiti on it. Like, who did this? Who damn it?
Dude, that would be kind of creepy though, because then you would know, like, there's aliens out here.
And they tagged you.
This will show them. This will show Earth.
Yeah, this is our turf. Don't. It's just like it's gang warfare. That's all it is. Gang warfare in space with aliens. It's what's coming. There's a movie. There's a Bruckheimer movie right there.
But it's one of those things I like to think about, just because, like Mars, right? You can see Mars from Earth, but in the grand scheme, it's a dot in the sky that's remotely brighter than the stars. You can see the moon, and you can see the moon very clearly. It just seems maybe more tangible because you can actually see it.
Right. It's closer. It's more attainable.
Yeah.
By the way, John, shut up. Anyway.
Well, in fairness, it was bugging me that I didn't remember what the quote was. I found the quote.
Okay. So what's the quote?
It was, "Daddy, I wet my Huggies."
Oh.
What?
From Biodome.
That was totally worth 5 minutes.
I know. But back to space, because that was completely irrelevant. NASA fixed the Hubble. It's fully operational again. For now.
I'm skeptical of that.
Yeah, so I was like, they say it's completely working again, but
can you explain how you fix someone is not driving up in a truck and physically screwing the actual is it done on the ground through computers?
Yeah, just turning off certain things, turning them back on, switching over to backup systems.
So NASA's strategy was just basically, let's unplug it and then we'll plug it back in and then
yeah.
Hey, it works. Yeah, I mean,
if it ain't broke, don't fix. Yeah, that's what I do, and you know what I mean. And usually, hey, what the hell? Sometimes it works. Well done, NASA.
Yeah, well, and they know that the Hubble is on its last leg. I mean, it's 30 years old. It's struggling to survive. It wasn't. I'm just guessing it wasn't designed to live this long anyway.
Nothing that NASA has put into space is supposed to have lived as long as it has.
But they, with the James Webb and all of its, inconspicuous adventure, we don't know if it's even going to work. So they got to keep that Hubble going as long as they can.
Well, and we've got this was the other thing we wanted to bring up. It sounds out XP, but the image Imaging X-ray Polarity or Polarimetry Explorer. IXPE. That was way too much words. That was the one that was launched. Was it yesterday?
Day before, I think.
Yeah. And that one's
Are you yawning at our own podcast? Come on.
I'm yawning. Yeah, I did yawn, and I apologize, but I'm.
By the way, can we rename the Hubble Perseverance? Because it seems to be kicking ass. Like, I don't know. How funny would it be if like the Perseverance, like something minor happens to it and then it goes self-destruct and you're what? Perseverance? All right.
Well, the one they just launched, I find it interesting because it's collecting X-rays or radiation essentially, which all stars and energy sources give off. Yeah, it's just the way it was explained, and I can't remember where I saw it explained. It was probably Scott Manley, but it's going to be an interesting satellite. The one thing I did notice was that with they made it compact so that it could fit in a small fairing, and then because it was launched on a SpaceX or on a Falcon 9, it was just a tiny little satellite in a big ass fairing. And it has, like the James Webb, it had to extend itself, and it had solar panels that were folded, all of which could have been avoided if they knew they were going to launch on a Falcon 9 to start with.
That makes sense.
Clearly.
But the last thing I want to get in for space news was that there was an article that came out on the 7th, which was probably, Tuesday. There's a light sail that they think could reach Alpha Centauri in 20 years.
I saw that article. It was mildly intriguing, but
It's not a new thought. This thought has
but also digging into it, and I read the same article, and that article told me that they don't think it's a good idea, but it's not feasible because of the amount of lasers that you would need.
Millions.
And the amount of millions. Yeah.
And
millions
the amount of power
lasers
behind them. Well, and that's the thing with solar sails, because way back when, like 2012, I backed a project with that Bill Nye. I don't think it was 2012. It might have been like 2014, 15. But it was Bill Nye, and it was a solar sail. And I probably should look up and see what's been going on with that.
But I'm pretty sure they needed 1.21 gigawatts.
Well, yeah. That's a scientific everything.
Yes.
They cured polio. They had that many gigawatts. They didn't even know what they were yet. There's a gigawatt. Okay.
No, they said, so in the article they said, Kirk, they said you would need millions of lasers pointed at this thing at any given time, and you would be shooting these lasers, and they would have to be individually aimed to make sure that they were optimally hitting this light sail.
So precision. So millions of lasers being laser precision. Their name. Okay, good. That works.
Or, potentially one big ass laser in space, but that's problematic in and of itself.
So what the lasers are aimed at, and that it's all like an energy source. So it's like they're harnessing the power of the
It's using the light that the lasers are that are giving off to push the sail.
Okay.
It is
and then
incrementally slow. But the thought is, you shoot lights or lasers at this sail for 10 years constantly, it's going to get up to a point where it's going 20 years would be what? A fifth the speed of light?
Okay. So I'm picturing like a sailboat, and you bring a big exhaust fan to aim at to make it go faster.
It would be a sailboat and like, let's say 1 million laser pointers pointed at the sailboat.
Right, pushing it, making it travel.
Yeah, except the fire risk with a sailboat and wood.
Right, so that's why it's not working in the paper, because it's gonna the space sail is gonna burst into flames as soon as the lasers heat it up. So.
Yeah, it's like there was theories about it using the sun and using a sail. It's similar principle to sailing a boat. You're just using the sun's light.
My initial thought was it's a cool idea because you could theoretically push this sail like what did we say last episode? It was 6,300 years to get
Yeah.
to Alpha Centauri, where with what the technology we have, and they're saying with a light sail and millions of lasers, you could get there in 20 years. What's that amount of laser power doing to us on Earth?
Well, it depends.
Like, hey, we got to Alpha Centauri in 20 years, but guess what? I have a tail.
What? Outside of the amount of energy it would need, which would be ridiculous, I don't think it would do much. It's not like, I guess you could make the assumption that because you're shooting it through the atmosphere, it might heat up the planet more.
Well, and again, is there radiation involved? Is that where so is that where you're getting the tail? So is it like mutating?
I don't know where Chris was going with that.
Hey, well, lasers, depending on what kind of laser they are, they give off something, whether it be radiation or not. You don't want to be hanging around class 3 lasers all day long.
Well, realistically, they would probably be space-based. Again, this idea it's more in theory than anything.
Well, I mean, when you get X-rayed, they go, "Hey, here's this vest. Put this vest on to protect you."
Not anymore.
So, I mean, they don't do that. You don't get a vest anymore?
Well, I guess it depends on where you go, but it's becoming less in play. I should know.
It seems sketchy.
Why?
John's just like, here, yeah, you don't need the vest anymore. It's cool.
No. Well, see, here's the thing. The studies that have come out are by physicists who have gone to school way longer than I have.
Well,
I mean, it just seems like a hard thing to take away. It's almost like a psychological thing for people. Like, look, I'm used to being protected. Like, that seems more for just the patient's well-being than even if, okay, technically you don't need this, but it's gonna make you feel better.
Yeah, no, that still comes into play.
I mean, it's not like, and you still have them. It's not like you're gonna throw them out. I'm gonna take this lead vest and do something with it. Probably not.
These are the worst bed sheets ever.
Ooh.
They just weigh me down. I can't move.
Well,
yeah,
that's a thing, though. The weighted blankets are a thing.
I've heard this. It's supposed to be comforting, right? Like, I don't know. Like, snug in a bug in a rug is what it's going for.
My oldest has one.
It's supposed to be like a hug, I guess. I don't know. It sounds terrible.
Sounds like someone you're going to picture someone strangling you because it's just you.
In the true Mitch Hedberg styling, it's like being taken down by a really weak guy
all night. Yeah.
Well, since we're talking about space, John, I did want to bring up one more thing that I forgot to bring up earlier, and then we got sidetracked. But you guys brought up the Perseverance. Well, I wanted to bring up the Ingenuity this week. It just made its 17th flight, which I only thought was impressive because think about when we first started talking about Ingenuity.
Yeah.
I mean, we were a baby podcast at that point, and
we're only bigger in number.
Yeah, they weren't even. Was it like in 10 was like a milestone? They weren't even expecting that, right?
No, I think 5 was like its initial lifespan. So the fact that it just reached 17, that's a big number, comparatively. But
look, it's the hardest working space whirlybird in space. It's just like James Brown.
Do you think though that the Perseverance is like, I got this thing buzzing? It's always buzzing around.
Aren't you actively against robots having feelings?
Of course I am, but
yeah, this is
robots that could be programmed to have petty annoyances that's a silly. That's the copier guy, right? Am I right? Oh, he's so annoying. What? Oh, and I can do really important calculations, but this guy.
Hold on, I'm not done complaining about that guy yet.
Right. On my way to the water cooler, glug glug glug. Oh God! And I'm a robot. Okay. And scene.
But still, I mean, it was such a, it was a really cool, like, it was a really cool project, and I still have the model of, said ingenuity sitting on my desk.
And you like it because it's blue collar. You're getting your money's worth. He's working overtime. He's working hard for the money. That's what you like about it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Hey, that whirlybird's making his living up there.
Yep. Burning the night the candle at both ends? No, that's not it.
No, that's it.
Okay.
Burning the candle at both ends.
It can't be good for the birthday cake. That's all I'm going to say. It's got to ruin several birthday cakes.
I don't understand why you're doing that. Just light the top.
Like, yeah, you don't have to put the other end in the cake. All right, it's getting wax everywhere. It's horrible.
Well, speaking of getting wax everywhere, let's go to Kirk's Corner. I'm excited.
Wow, good transition.
Don't be.
Of course, yeah. All right, just a quick look around.
Yeah.
Am I missing anything new? Is there any?
Well, something a little.
Is that a giant fly?
That's a giant fly.
Okay, what did we say about giant fly? Why do we have a giant fly?
Well, he made a fly, Kirk.
God damn it. It's supposed to be on Chris's. It's around the stink of Chris. Chris's stink is so bad, even his space name has not on. All right, you're getting closer. All right. Okay. It's not a glass of water either. So well done again. I'm not going to drink a fly. I don't know where that fly's been. Look, fruit flies adopt. Okay. Anyway.
I think you broke John, Kirk.
You did technically make a fly. All right, good. Thank you. I'm not grateful. I berate for 2 minutes and then I go, all right, thanks. All right, that was good. That's a fly. Well, thank you. All right. So now we're in Kirk's Corner. So yeah, let's get to some jokes. We got, you know what? I got the bakers. I got the comedian dozen. I got a dozen jokes and 2 lists for you. So you guys ready?
Yeah.
Oh, I like the list Kirk Corners.
Okay. Yeah, actually, I have 2 of them. So we'll start with some jokes though. Okay. So multi-billionaires are fine with $1 billion fines. Okay. That's just saying. Australia, this is true. Australia had a politician named Dick Gross. There's no joke there. Just hashtag, oh, Australia. Like that guy ran for office and people voted for him with that name. And they're like, oh, you're good people. That's all I'm saying. All right. How about this one? Santa, it's almost holidays. Santa gives presents to good little boys and girls. Monsanto gives people cancer. Okay. It's a little different. It's a little down.
Oh.
All right. How about black licorice doesn't matter? Hashtag gross. No.
I agree. I agree.
Okay. The lone bright spot of being homeless has to be no HOA. That is the only good thing. Okay, and if you really think about it, I've quit a couple jobs. A resignation letter only needs 2 letters. You want to fill in the word puzzle? I would say F you.
I was going to say, F you.
That's all you need. Just sign it, and then they'll get the message. Oh, he's not going to be here Monday. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, but this how about if steamed vegetables are healthier, let's get coma patients to the sauna. All right. Come on, you're in the health industry. Make this happen. Oh, come on. You're not going to, you tell that at work tomorrow and tell me that doesn't get a chuckle out of the nurses. Speaking of health, pogo sticks and stones will definitely break your bones. Am I right? You're not. Okay. Is replacing the swimsuit competition with the Tupperware competition more or less sexist? I don't know. I'm not sure. It's more of a ponderer. Okay, sports joke, and we got two more here. So the football coach couldn't even get his tight ends to meet. Oh, that's not a. Come on, his tight ends wouldn't meet. All right.
Mm-hmm.
How about synchronized dumpster diving is not an Olympic sport yet? All right. All right. So here's what I have to think about. Okay, so hip. Here's the. Okay, so as in the medical field. Okay, so when you replace a hip, how does the other hip feel? You know, does it feel concerned? You know, like its days are numbered? Is the other hip, is it sad because it misses their friend? You know what I mean? Like, oh my God, Lefty's gone. You know, or is it excited about a shiny new state-of-the-art partner, or nothing because it's a hip and it's confused, it's not square? Boom. That was a lot of hip jokes. Okay. All right, and then so here's the other list. Then this is silly. I was reading a book about Jimmy Carter, and he did Habitat for Humanity. That was one of his things, build houses for people. So he created that. Here are Habitat for Humanity spin-offs other people tried to do. Okay, so the first one was Haberdasheries for Humanity. That's just fun to say. the cat in the hat for humanity. That's a good one. Tit for tat for humanity. And Kit Kats for humanity, and the Habitat for Insanity. Those are the spin-offs of Habitat for Humanity. Okay, so that wraps up Kirk's Corner. So any discussion points, anything you want to
Just
flesh
on
out, we're confused by?
The Australian thing. Saw something that said we did not, or as Americans, we did not make big enough effort the fact that we had Dick and Bush as our presidential combo for a while.
Oh yeah, with Cheney. Yeah.
I think Anthony Weiner was in there somewhere too. So
that's true. That was another good politician name. But like I can't believe. You know what? It's almost like I think every first one of their elections they won on a goof. You know, people like, oh, that's a funny name, and then they won. Like what? And then they did it. Hey, they lowered my taxes and my economy's better. Hell yeah, well done.
Well, I'm still laughing about steamed vegetables, so just figured I'd give you that one, Kirk.
That was your heartless bastard. Well, good. All right. Well, should we skid it?
Yeah, let's segue back over. Somebody put some oil on that door. It didn't say holla.
Kirk, look at Chris's name.
Hey, see, that's what I'm talking about. Bingo, bango, bongo.
Hey, fuck you guys. All right.
I didn't want to spoil the joke, and I'm glad I didn't by putting it at the beginning.
Yeah, that was good. That worked out well. That's exactly. I fell right into your trap.
I protest. 100%.
That's why I was laughing so hard.
But well done, John.
Yeah, no, that was, hey, yeah, nice orchestrated thing. By the way, Chris, we're going to get you a shirt that says, "For the love of God, please don't scratch or sniff." That's going to be a shirt that you're going to wear, okay?
Got it. Oh.
Oh, hold on.
Is someone DJing? Is someone scratching? Someone's on the ones and the twos?
That was. I kind of muted it to stop it.
Thank you.
Okay. Well, technical difficulties on our end. We got our eardrums blown out by something. It was terrible.
I'm assuming the watchers did as well. We do apologize for that.
Right. The rest of the show won't be as annoying. We promise. That was the most. That'll be the most annoying part of the show. So if you got past that, you're on the home stretch.
So let's go off topic, Kirk. It's that time of night. And John, I guess.
You're just mad about the flies.
Of course I am. But you know what? I'll go ahead and I'll take it in stride, and I'm gonna go ahead and start this week. I just had a interesting story. So I'm one of those people who plays the lottery every day. I play Cash 5 here in Colorado, but so this dude goes to the store and accidentally buys he buys a lotto ticket and then accidentally somehow buys a copy of the same lotto ticket. So he ends up buying 2 of the same ticket and wins 2 jackpots.
Which means nothing because it gets split usually. Right?
I'm pretty sure it was, they said that he won both. Like, it was one of those where it was like Cash 5 where multiple people. So essentially, he just got 2 wins.
Oh, lucky.
But do you play the same numbers? Do you have your? I always kill it when people like, I've been playing the same numbers, my lucky numbers for 40 years, and I've never won. I'm like, I don't think those are your lucky numbers. Like, do you do that, or do you mix it? What do you do?
I've been playing the same numbers for about a year-ish.
Okay.
Yeah. I figured eventually they're going to hit someday.
See what?
Sure. The odds are not with you at all. Of course. Okay. Anyway, sorry.
What gets me is the fact that I'm sure you've seen, Chris, that the Colorado lottery is like 18 million right now.
Seems high.
Yeah, it's ridiculously high, like 18.5 million. Because I'm a nerd and calculated it out, I have the actual like the annuity settings, and it's like my phone is taking way too long to load.
The flies are flying around different. Like there's the pattern switching up, or like there's 3 of them too. That's a nice touch.
Yeah, like the annuity after tax is like $300,000. It's per year going up. It's crazy.
That's nice. Well, hey, that was my story. Kirk, what do you got?
All right, my story was in Saudi Arabia. They had a beauty contest for camels. And 43 of said camels were disqualified because they were either receiving Botox, they had facelifts, or other cosmetic procedures. Okay, so just wrap your head around that. 43 cows with full pouty lips and just alluring as hell. But they didn't have good personalities. But the winning animal breeders actually get $66 million. So this is a big deal.
I could see that.
Shape of heads, necks, and humps, as well as the camel's dress posture. And there's also a talent competition. I may have made that last part up. But come on, serious. So just Saudi Arabia, cosmetic surgery for camels to win a beauty contest. Any initial reactions?
Not surprising.
Yeah.
Look at the dog shows in America.
So this is just like honey, instead of making the kids dance or something, they're just making the camels pretty. They're probably in sequins and doing a dance number.
What's the dog show in
the Westminster?
Is it the Westminster?
That's the big fancy one, like in New York. The one that, like, the Best in Show movie was based on, like that one.
I guess everybody's got their thing. If you want to make camels pretty, I mean, I suppose.
Yeah, it's 50 for the Westminster, 50,000.
That's not 66 million.
No, I was thinking it was a little bit more than that, but for how big that show is, I'm kind of surprised.
And all of the camels are forced to smoke the whole time. It's a Joe Camel time. They can't get away. It's Camels smoke. That's why they spit.
Push the brand. We got to keep pushing the brand. You know they don't. You know they don't air commercials in America anymore, right?
Right. We can't get it
Still.
in magazines, and everybody who uses our product is dying. So
On that note, John, what do you got?
Scientists are trying to make a black box for black box for humanity.
now the black box is the thing in the plane that it's
Yeah.
if there's a recorder, so they figure out, and it's supposed to be you can't damage it, you can't
Yep.
destroy it, right?
Indestructible. So they're trying to, make sure that when we inevitably bite it, the next civilization can read all
the
our history.
death of the universe happens.
Yeah, look, someone's getting murdered someplace at some time if John's around. Someone's getting thrown out of an airlock for some, he stepped on the back of my shoe and gave me a flat tire. Out of the airlock, you're gone. Bam. Like, Jesus. Itchy trigger finger.
I don't like the way he looked at me. Boom. Done.
Right. A snide. He didn't return the Tupperware from when I lent him the leftovers. Done. It's over.
Huh. Well, did they say how they were going to make a black box for humanity, John? Because I have questions.
Yeah, because it's like that seems like so there'd be almost. I'm picturing like just like a bunker. You know what I mean? So it was like people just run to a bunker in case something's happening.
3-inch thick steel and cantilevered off granite. It'll be, see that storage drives powered by solar panels on the roof, which that won't last. Yeah, I'm assuming it's just supposed to be like a data storage of, hey, if you find this is how you access all of Earth's data. I mean, all of Wikipedia can fit on a tablet.
So it's like almost like a time capsule for humanity.
Yeah.
Because like the solar panels are going to be melted by whatever destroyed us in the first place. So they'll just it's like a time capsule.
If it's a volcano or an asteroid, it's going to be dark for like 10 years. So
And 3 inches of steel doesn't exactly feel impenetrable to me. Like an asteroid that directly hits it will completely destroy it.
Yeah. There's flaws in this in this story. I'm gonna need more research done on that one.
And if that asteroid hit it and destroyed it, you would be so happy. You're like, well, you'd be doing the Mr. Burns fingers.
Well, gentlemen, I think that about wraps us up. Now that I got flies flying around me, I gotta.
You know what? Maybe next week we can add a fly strip, and maybe we'll catch one. I don't know. I'm just throwing out ideas, or there's 1,000 more flies. But you'll have to tune in. You know what? That's a nice teaser for the people. Let's see what happens with the flies. How is this going to resolve itself? Just a fly swatter, just ran. Anyway, stay tuned.
Stay tuned. But hopefully everybody's enjoying their Friday night. We will be back next week. We do have Space Engineers tomorrow night, working on some things over there. Do check out our social medias, YouTube, TikTok.
Linked below.
Everything's
on
linked.
Twitch.
Okay. Everything's linked on Twitch.
Well, no, I meant on... Since we're on Twitch, it's below in our About page right now. Everywhere else, I have to figure out how to do that better.
Check us out on TikTok. We have a propensity of blowing up on TikTok. It's kind of fun, and it makes John anxious. So
yeah,
double win-win.
Mm-hmm. He's going to be an influencer soon, and he hates it.
The day that happens, Kirk, he will delete the account.
Yes.
but he'll still come up with his own brand of like water just to try. All right, I don't like it once, but it was stupid. But drink water that makes you as pale as the water itself. Okay, anyway. We were wrapping up, right?
Translucent, as it were.
Translucent. Yeah, there you go. That's his brand. That's his production company.
Well, yes, we are wrapping up. So thank you, everybody, for listening this evening. We appreciate you here, and we will see you on next week. Go boldly, friends.